All right, welcome to the James.tayoro show. A couple stories I'm going to go over with you today. Let me put my fucking. What's going on here? Put my chair up. That's better. That is better. So I can see myself, by the way. Like when I see what I'm looking at, I can actually see myself. So yeah. Um, I know what you're thinking, by the way. Why are you in a hoodie and a hat? Because usually you're in shirts or suit jackets or some kind of nice-ish jumper. Well, because I just realised that one, I can wear whatever the fuck I want because it's my show, it's my show, it's my house. I can do whatever I want. But mainly it's because I'm going out soon, and yeah, I just can't be able to put a fucking like suit on and shirt and shit. Shirt needs like ironing and that. No one here to iron it for me. Don't fancy ironing my own shirt. So yeah, win a hoodie in there. This is what it is. Don't like it? Fuck you. All right, but listen. There's two stories I want to talk to you about today. Kind of touchy-feely stories. One of them being the whole Liam Payne story, and then the other being the Chris Cabba story. If anyone doesn't really know about that, then I'll sort of fill you in a little bit because I've been doing a bit of research and I'm going to read a couple of articles to you. But first of all, I thought I'd lighten the mood. Let me my chair up a bit. What's going on here? There you go. I thought I would lighten the mood with a reaction to what I thought was a bit of a funny video. Uh, this is meant to be serious. This is meant to be like genius fucking campaigning by Kamala Harris, and well, I guess you could also include Barack Obama to that. But this is how Barack Obama made an entrance at a Kamala Harris rally. They got a certain rapper to, I was going to say former rapper, but he still raps. They got a certain rapper to introduce Barack Obama, and here's the clip, and I'll give you my thoughts on it in a minute. So here's the clip.
Detroit! What up, though? So look, I wrote down a few things I wanted to say. I love you too. Thank you. I'm here tonight for a couple of important reasons. As most of you know, the city of Detroit and the whole state of Michigan mean a lot to me. And going into this election, the spotlight is on us more than ever, and I think it's important to use your voice. So I'm encouraging everybody to get out and vote, please. I also think that people shouldn't be afraid to express their opinions. And I don't think anyone wants an America where people are worried about retribution or what people will do if you make your opinion known. I think Vice President Harris supports a future for this country where these freedoms and many others will be protected and upheld. And here to tell you much more about that, President Barack Obama.
Okay, so there's a couple of things wrong with that video. Well, first of all, what Eminem says is crazy. Like retribution for making your opinion known. That's what they do. Is he not like I don't know? I know obviously he's obviously successful and everything. He probably just spends his time chilling in a fuck off mansion with some fucking birds or whatever, which is cool. I hope he does. That's great. But let's be fucking real. How mentally retarded do you have to be, or does Eminem have to be, to say that somehow if Donald Trump and JD Vance get into the White House, that they are going to be shutting down free speech, coming after people who speak against them or say things they disagree with? That's crazy. That is one of the most mentally retarded and backward statements you're ever going to hear. One, because we know that Donald Trump doesn't do that, because obviously he was the president of the United States for 4 years, never once did that. Two, it's because the guy he's introducing and the campaign he's supporting this is Eminem, they're the ones who lock people up for making their opinion known. They're the ones who go after certain billionaires who send rockets into space for supporting Donald Trump. They're the ones who go after Donald Trump. They're the ones who shame black America. Literally, the guy he's introducing, Barack Obama, if you'd watched my show, I think it was it the last show? It was either, I don't know if it was the last show or it was either one of the last two shows I did. I literally done a whole piece about how Barack Obama literally shamed black men and literally pointed his finger at them, shaming them, lecturing them because they might vote for Donald Trump. So one, everything he's saying is crazy, right? And I mean, you're crazy if you're gonna, go and campaign for a party that openly wants to, trans your kids and who talk about that all the time. So that is one reason enough to say that he's fucking mentally retarded for supporting them. But what he actually said is stupid. And what he said, listen, that was the least sincere sort of entrance or short monologue I've ever heard. That is awful. Like, what did he say? What he did was, and this is classic, they all do it, they say things and then they pause expecting the crowd to laugh. Okay? So now we've got, when you talk about white dudes for Harris, you've obviously, they got white dude for Harris now. But the fact that Eminem would actually come out, and remember, Eminem used to be the rebellious type. He was rebellious. He was the type of guy that, I personally think that his music's for children. But, when he rapped back in the day, he obviously raps now. He still gets loads of views now, but I don't know anyone who actually watches it. Maybe they're botted, I don't know. But either way, he used to be good in 2001. And in 2001, he used to be like that rebellious type of rapper. It was Slim Shady. It was kind of whatever. Now he's completely on board with a government that want to trans your kids. A government that locks up political opponents. Okay, we know where Eminem stands. And people are going to say, oh, well, James, look, how can you hate on Eminem? He's worth $1 billion and you're not. You're not even a millionaire, James. I say, well, yeah, so. Doesn't mean I can't point out the truth. Plus, I'm more handsome than him, so I win there. Two, I reckon I'll beat him in a fight. So, you know what I mean? If I talk bad about someone, I probably think I can beat him in a fight. That's probably it. But then, I'd say how it's bad, right? But then you could look at it from Barack Obama's point of view and Kamala Harris's point of view. And I guess you could throw Tim Walz in there. They did this for 3 reasons. They did it because, one, they're in Detroit. So Eminem's the biggest guy to come out of Detroit. So they think that, I don't know, they're getting in touch with the people of Detroit. I don't know. He's from Detroit. They got him. That's kind of understandable. But the reason they're getting someone like Eminem out is because they're trying to get after 3 demographics of voters. Well, really 2, but I'm going to say 3. So the first is they're trying to get after black voters. Because Donald Trump has gained more, so far, according to the polls, he's got more of the black vote than any Republican president has ever had. Right? So there's that. 2, they're trying to get after young people. Because, again, Donald Trump has, and that's partly, one, because young people are because of the free speech that's on X, people are seeing more and more Trump, and they're saying, okay, well, this guy isn't that bad, or they like him, they relate to him, he's lovable, especially if you're a young kid. He's kind of an inspiration. You look at him and you find out a few things about him, you think, okay, well, he conquered the business world, he was on TV, then he became president, he's pretty impressive as a man. But also the fact that Donald Trump's campaign, you see what he's been doing. He's been on show. He's been on the Nelk Boys. He's gone on Joe Rogan in 2 days. He was, Theo Von. Rappers that are rappers in today's day and age are still big, cool. Like him. He's at the UFC. All the UFC fighters love him. You know, he loves the UFC. Like, he's in touch with things that young voters are in touch with. And, you know, I'm not going to say that people are so stupid because this is the thing, they think that people are so stupid that they'll see Eminem like Kamala Harris and then they'll just say, well, if Eminem likes him, then I will. You know, like just sheep, just doing what Eminem says. And they're not doing that with the UFC fighters, but with the UFC fighters, they're saying, well, okay, well, if Sean Strickland loves him and celebrates him after a win, I like Sean Strickland. Well, let me look into this Trump guy. And then they see, oh, well, he was on Nelk Boys. Oh, he done a 2-hour video where he's just speaking and he seems likable. I'm going to vote for him. But they're not going to do that with Eminem. And Eminem isn't the guy who puts on Kamala Harris. Why? Because Eminem's fucking, like I said before, he's done. Who the fuck listens to Eminem? I said many, many times on my Instagram story, I said Eminem's fucking faggot and he's fag rap anyway. And I'm really thinking about it. It's really just children rap, but it's pretty fucking faggy if you think about it. And then it comes off that Candace Owens and shit. It's like it's just pathetic, right? I don't know who still actually like that would be a mission on its in and of itself. Trying to find the people who still listen to Eminem's music that comes out now. I mean, if you think 8 Mile came out in 2002. Okay, 8 Mile came out when I was 1 year old. He hasn't made good music since that. I'm 23 now, so he hasn't made good music for 22 years. And then if you look at, let's say me, for example, I used to listen to Eminem, and I used to watch 8 Mile. I used to listen to Eminem, all day, every day. I mean, no, all day, every day, but, when I listened to music, it would have been Eminem because I was 12, and I was 13. And then you turn 14 and you're like, oh, this is like kind of gay and this and that. But the point is, he isn't relevant. So if you're thinking just from a strategic point, from the marketing, because when you're campaigning, it's really just marketing yourself. You're trying to get people to join you. Eminem's not the guy that you want. He isn't the guy that he used to be. And I don't understand who thought that would be a good idea. It's just shit. It's just not good. And again, the thing is that Eminem's also, along with Robert De Niro, he's just that guy, and Mark Cuban. He's just a guy who hates Donald Trump. It's not, he doesn't love Kamala Harris. He probably doesn't even know their policies. I mean, they don't even know their policies. We don't even know Kamala Harris's policies because she hasn't explained any of them. But Eminem just hates Donald Trump. And this is the thing, like I said many, many times, people aren't stupid. Like this is the issue. And if you're an undecided voter, this is the point you should be thinking about. As well as the fact that, Kamala Harris and her campaign want to trans your children and want drag queen story time with your 3-year-old kid. But that's a different topic, which we can get into, but I won't just now. They actually think you're stupid. They think that if they put Eminem on their stage, that suddenly you're going to say, well, Eminem, I'm going to follow him. It's actually insulting that they think that you're that stupid, that you just follow. They just put, okay, which celebrity, we're in Detroit, let's get Eminem, that will get some people. How? Why? They think that you're so stupid that you don't even care about policy and you're just going to follow your favorite celebrity. I mean, he's not even a favorite celebrity anymore, so that's one thing. I don't even understand. I'm still baffled about the fact that he still sells the amount of records he does. I don't know anyone who listens to it. Like, even his old stuff, who actually listens to it? I don't know. Okay, the new stuff, maybe what's happening, and just coming to my mind as I'm speaking, maybe the reason he sells so much is because when his new album comes out, people are going to watch it or listen to it. They know it's going to be shit, but they're just in case there's a good song on there. It's like, okay, he gave us a good childhood. Let's just see if there's any of that left. Okay, we know there probably isn't. Like, there's a 99% chance that this is going to be such a shitty fucking album. Let's just see if there is any, good shit going on. The issue is, and this is what you got to respect about Donald Trump. He turns people into fucking has-beens. Like, you can't deny that, right? Robert De Niro, I personally believe one of the greatest actors of all time, turned Robert De Niro into a fucking whiny has-been. Okay? Eminem, I don't think it, but widely regarded as one of the greatest rappers of all time, turns him into a white dude for Harris, who supports an administration. Same with Robert De Niro. Both, that's the Hollywood and the music industry. Surprise, surprise. After the supporting and campaigning for the administration that want to, transgender your children and lock up political opponents. So that kind of says, remember, they're big representations of their industries. So when people talk about Hollywood, it's like, well, who's the biggest guy in Hollywood? Well, probably historically, you could say Robert De Niro. Biggest guy in the music, historically, you could say Eminem. Bad representation of those industry guys. But then you look at Barack Obama. Now, I've said many times, I don't think he was a great president. But, he was historic. And he was well known and he was beloved. And he was kind of respected. This is the thing, you don't have to like someone, but you can still respect them. And he was respected even by people on the right to a degree. But now, again, he's basically a has-been now. I spoke about it before. If he's on a stage, no one really cares. He's not swaying voters who are undecided. Like, okay, he's got the media and, people who are beneath him who want to get higher. It's probably the same with Eminem, right? You got let's say these guys are up here in terms of celeb. You got guys down here who would probably don't agree with any of it, but they'll be like, "Oh, it's Obama. I'll have dinner with him." It just goes to show this is what Donald Trump does. He turns your beloved stars. Well, he doesn't. He turns and then they expose themselves as just fucking whiny bitches who really like a lot of weird stuff. It's just a weird administration. The left is just weird in general. Let's just leave it at that. And we'll move on to the next story because I could go on about them for a long, long time. But let's get into some UK stories. Again, these two stories UK. First of all, let's do Liam Payne. First of all, rest in peace to him. I don't really know who he was. I don't really know One Direction. I'll be honest with you guys. That's not really a bit of me. I'm not a boy band guy, and that's not really my type of music anyway. Even if I was open to listening to boy bands, that wasn't my type of music. And obviously, we're in 2024 now. One Direction, when they first came out, I was young, right? But essentially, just to quickly break down the story, Liam Payne was found dead in Argentina. The report was he had fallen from great heights, so a hotel room. We're still unsure, although it looks like it was a suicide, although technically the report hasn't come out to confirm publicly whether it was suicide or murder or accidental. The issue with that is that there was obviously a load of drugs, and this has been proven now. There was a lot of drugs in the hotel room that he was staying in, and the room was smashed up. So I guess that's kind of why it's hard to determine whether it was suicide or accidental, because if you're on drugs, do you fall because you're so intoxicated, or do you kill yourself and, have a drug binge before you go out, or do the drugs make you kill yourself? I don't know. Either way, unsurprisingly, there has been a lot of people who were sort of, and really disgustingly, standing on the grave, quite literally standing on the grave of Liam Payne for their own financial gains. What you've had is a load of people coming out trying to sue Simon Cowell, or Simon Cowell's company, Psycho. I think they own X Factor, and obviously X Factor is how One Direction got big, and obviously Liam part of One Direction. Although that was 14 years ago. It's good to know, and I'll get into why that's a key factor in a minute. But just from the outside looking in, I don't see how there's a case that you can sue Psycho or like Simon Cowell's company. How can you sue them for anything to do with this? I don't see how this is related to them in any way, shape, or form. They're saying it's neglect. I've seen loads of posts saying about how it's neglect. I've seen loads of people, even the woman on Piers Morgan, talking about how, you know, there's a duty of care that X Factor should have on their guests that somehow wasn't fulfilled in this Liam Payne situation. So that's wrong, and I'll get into that. But they make another argument, which is that these talent shows are bad, and that, you know, people shouldn't be, kids shouldn't be allowed to take care of these talent shows. And to me, that's crazy. That's nuts. Like, why? What? So basically, listen, kid, I know you want to go and show the world. I know you have no opportunities where you're from. You don't know anybody in that space. You don't know anybody who can, you know, put you out there. You put videos on YouTube, they're not blowing up. You can't afford advertising because you're poor. You're on your own. And I know that we could give you a chance. Right? We could have a show. We could let you sing, or I mean, X Factor singing, but, you know, just talent shows in general. We could let you perform in front of the world, right? If you want to be big, I can make it happen. But I'm not going to do that because you might kill yourself in 14 years if it takes off. Where's the fucking logic in that? Sorry, kids. I know you guys want to be successful, but just in case you get famous and then go on a drug binge and then kill yourself, then, you know, no, you're not going to make it. And then the main concern, which is the thing that I'm thinking about, is like, okay, let's just say, right, that he'd been on X Factor a year ago, and they were still part of One Direction, and they all killed themselves. Sad thought, by the way. But I'm just hypothetical, right? Would that, like, how would that still fall on Simon Cowell and his company? I don't get it, because it's not like, you know, if you work at Tesco's, your employers are, and I don't even think that, I don't know if how it works with the contract and that, but they weren't like employed. They had a contract like to be on the show and everything, but it's not like you work for us. You know, and even if it was, I don't see how that, like, if you work at Tesco's, they don't owe you money or whatever. They're not responsible for your suicide if Liam killed himself. And that would be a year. If that was a year, if they could be on the show. If you were on the show and you blow your brains out in front of the whole stage, I don't see how that's their fault. And then people talking about duty of care. Like, how long is a duty of care supposed to go on for? And what does a duty of care even mean? Does that mean you have to call them up every day? Making sure, but you're not going to kill yourself, no? No? Okay. Does that mean you follow them around all day? And the lawsuit, what do you want? No, I know what the lawsuit is, but and I'll get into that in a second, but let's just say, what would a lawsuit even look like? What would be, let's say they were, I don't know, whatever they think Simon Cowell and his company are guilty of, what do you get? What should you get? What do they do? Go to prison? Simon Cowell goes to prison because someone killed themselves. That was on his show 14 years ago. Or what? Money? As it turns out, that is what actually they want. They're suing him for millions of dollars. It's a multi-million-dollar lawsuit for neglect and bullying. Okay, one, what does neglect mean? Again, I don't know. What are they meant to do? Hold your hand? Where's your parents? Do you know what I mean? And then bullying, how? And what kind of bullying? What did they do? And even if you did bully someone, what does he owe you millions of dollars? He bullied you, 14 years ago? Because these people were talking about being on, they're from the same season that Liam Payne and One Direction one, which was 2010. I was 9. I was 9 years old. I'm 23 now, and when I was 9 years old, these guys were on a show, and apparently they were bullied and neglected. Therefore, 14 years later, just so happens that Liam Payne's killed himself. Now you're going to file a lawsuit. It's fucking retarded. Everything's so fucking retarded nowadays. It's almost laughable at this point. And then the thing is that is really upsetting. No one's talking about the probably most concerning thing and one of the key details to the whole case, which is the fact that he was on drugs. Okay? It's been reported that he was, and it seems like by multiple sources, and it seems legit that he was on crack and pink cocaine and cocaine. Pink cocaine, you may be wondering when that is. Pink cocaine, if it's the drug that I'm thinking of, which can be known in Europe as pink champagne, it's just a mixture of other drugs. Yeah. Yeah, like pink champagne. Yeah. I don't, like, no one's talking about that. I mean, if it was suicide, or if it was an accident and he fell, well, the cause of death should probably be fucking drugs. Because drugs do let me tell you something. Drugs are not good. I've said it so many fucking times. I know the other day I was talking about weed, but hard drugs are fucking bad too. Like, you do drugs, bad things happen. I'm not just talking about, okay, yes, relationships end, friendships, marriages, financial draining of if you're not rich, even if you are rich, still financially drains you because you just buy more. But when you do drugs, if it was an accident and he fell, guaranteed without the drugs that wouldn't have fucking happened. And if he did kill himself, guaranteed that the drugs were a contributing factor. Like, it's so fucking crazy. And this is the thing. If you had a fucking car crash, right, and you were drunk, they would say, well, you were drinking. They blame the alcohol, or you was on drugs. They blame the drugs. But what, when you, apparently, it looks like he sadly killed himself, but let's just go with that for a second. We can go both ways. If he killed himself, well then, what, no one cares about the drugs? Talking about Simon Cowell 14 years ago, trying to ruin his life and ruin his fame and ruin his business and stop him from doing what he's doing, which is talent shows, which make loads of people famous. And even if the people it doesn't make famous and the people who don't win, it still gives them the chance that they never had. It's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. And Simon Cowell has fucking family and kids. They're trying to slander his name. It's just ridiculous. Now, listen, I understand that some people are going to be watching and they're going to say, well, they're going to have had a suicide in their family and stuff. And it's really, really sad. And you right now might be thinking that you don't want to victim blame. I get it. You don't, like, because they're going to call it victim blaming, but really it's just asking valid questions. You'd be saying, well, don't worry about whether he was on drugs. Was that victim blaming? Or, oh, well, yeah, he had depression. So, well, yeah, but let's be real here. Those are things that should have been addressed. And if they weren't addressed, and let's say no one knew about it and he didn't tell anyone, he's not obligated to tell anyone. But that doesn't mean you just go blame other people. Because what you need to understand is that they're using Liam Payne as they're literally, you call it standing on the grave, right? They're using his death for their 15 minutes fame, for their lawsuits, for them to get rich, for them to talk shit about an industry. A lot of these people obviously didn't do well, so they already have a hatred for the fucking idea of a talent show because they went on there and didn't win and they were embarrassed. It's just crazy. And remember, this is the thing, again, we're not here to talk bad about Liam or anything, but he was 31 years old. What, 31-year-old? Who? Why does Simon Cowell have a duty of care over a 31-year-old? That to me is mental. Mental. And it's just so unrealistic. And Simon Cowell actually knew him. So now what you're doing, and all the people sharing stuff online, you're making Liam's death about Simon Cowell when Simon Cowell is, I don't know how close him and Liam were, but I'm sure that Simon Cowell was upset about it. He knew the guy. Yeah, this is just what happens. They use people's deaths to push their own shit, their own agendas, and their own financial gain. And this kind of goes into the third story that I was going to talk about. This happens all the time, okay? In England right now, it's actually going on, right? So, Chris Cabba was a. This is crazy. Chris Cabba is a. How old is he? I want to get his age right. Because I want to show respect for the dead. I thought he was like 22 or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, Chris Cabba, young guy in England, shot in 2022 by the police. I believe it was a shot to the head. Oh, okay. Born in 1999. Okay, so he was like 22-ish when he died, right? Anyway, shot by police after they. So basically, the police. Let me read the article, right? So let's find the story. Okay, so apparently, core member of the Brixton Hill-based 6-7 gang. Anyone in England would know of 6-7. People know about that gang. So essentially, Chris Cabba was a core member of a notorious South London gang and accused of being a gunman in an alleged bid to a murder a rival in nightclub shooting days before he would kill. The 24-year-old's gang links, previous connections, and violence past can be reported for the first time after Metropolitan Police marksman Martin Blake was cleared of murder and the judge, Mr. Justice Goss, lifted reporting restrictions. So this is part of the issue with the story, right? Is that, black teenager gets killed by the police and you're not allowed to report about it. So the initial story by a lot of independent journalists and people in the public was that, well, I guess who didn't know that he was in a gang, or even they probably did know and didn't care, was that this was a racial incident, and because he's black, they don't value him and everything like that, which is obviously ridiculous because I mean, this is England we're talking about. This ain't Russia. Like, it's just BLM obviously got behind it and everything. It's just fucking ridiculous. But and look, I guess the death is technically sad. But essentially, what happened was he was being followed by the police, right? He's been followed by the police because they suspected him of having guns or whatever. There was an altercation, a little chase. He rammed the police with his car, and then the police, after getting rammed by him in his car, one of the police officers shot him through the windscreen, and a bullet hit him in the head, and he died. So there's a couple things with the story. There's a few things. So number one, obviously, people are trying to stand on the grave of him, which is just pretty ridiculous. That people are out here saying justice, this and that. Again, I don't know what you want the police to do, and look, I'm not this fucking advocate I mean, I guess I am in a way, but I'm not like preacher. Oh, I'm not like super this police guy. You know, I'm not super this like for the police. I'm not against them at all. By the way, I'm just saying I'm not like some fucking guy who calls for people to be locked up or killed. Do you know what I mean? I've been locked up. Like it's not in prison, you know, but I've been locked up. I've had bad altercations with the police. Well, I thought they were fucking rude and wrong. But in those situations, they were wrong, and they were over the. You know, they were, you know, pushing. You know, when I was younger, you know, I remember police, you know, come to arrest me. You know, barge through my mum's house and everything, and you know, that was like, well, hang on a minute, what's that about? You know what I mean? But there's a difference between that and then, you know, ramming a police car, the Metropolitan Police. If like you ram armed police, you're asking to get hurt. I don't know what you want to. I don't know what they think the police should have done. You know, they're gonna shoot, and they're just gonna shoot at you. They're not gonna just try and wing you or whatever, or tag you on the shoulder and hope that you just, you know, stop. And then you know, they're just gonna shoot. Like, you know, you think a person's body, like your head and torso, is not that big. You're getting shot at. You could die. So if you ram into the police knowing they're going to shoot you, you need to be careful. Well, you need to be, you know, aware of the fact that you're probably going to get shot. And if you get shot, the likelihood of you surviving is not very high. You know, and then what's going to happen is, you know, the police, because, and this is why it's kind of a good thing that he didn't get done, the policeman, because what's going to happen is the police, and this is a fact, the more you punish policemen for doing their jobs and come after them and hate them, the less they're going to do their job, the less they're going to help you. Okay, because soon the police need to have confidence in what they're doing. Because, and it's all fair and like, you can hate the police in situations like this, right? But when there's a home invasion, you're going to want the police to come. Do you understand? If you're a woman walking down the street, do you want the police there to help you in case some guy tries to fucking jump you and do God knows what? Of course you do. Right? But soon, and this would have been a key point, soon it will get to the point where the police are so scared to take action against violent people that you be some old lady, men coming into your house, breaking and entering with guns, with a gun to your head, and the police won't do anything. They'll be too scared. They'll be thinking, okay, well, this guy's got a gun and he's probably going to kill this old lady, or maybe he's going to kill that woman, or maybe he's going to rob that fucking shop. I don't know. But if I do anything to him, then I'm going to lose my job, and I'm going to be put all over the news as the fucking racist because the guy happened to be black. So, you know, that's one thing. And this is the video I was. This is just the issue with it. So this guy's fucking done really well, right? So this guy, I'll play this video for you. This is the type of guy and the type of attitude you need. Right, this is it, ready?
This whole Chris Cabba situation, I feel like we just have this tendency as black people to like play victim and go off like what other people say, and I find it mad because I'm looking at Shade Bar and everyone's going, oh, white, if it was white, blah blah blah, white people. This is a genuine question for anyone. Have you actually watched the cam footage of the whole situation? Because I have, and to me, I don't see it as a white thing. I see it as the guy was in danger and he shot. Secondly, not gonna lie, if that was the situation and he was unarmed, what's the issue? Don't want to sound mean or anything, but ain't he the one killing black people that we're always complaining about? Ain't he going around shooting black people in black gangs. He was literally, the night before, he was shooting at a black person. But then there's an issue. I don't get you lot. Like, I don't get my people. What's going on? I don't get it. Because this shit happened with Mark Duggan and people were rioting. Did you watch the tape, bro? What's going on?
Yeah. He said it right. Look, that's a smart guy right there. That's a guy who's smart enough to say, look, stop being so fucking stupid. Stop bringing it to race, which you do every single time, BLM and, you know, certain people who really have no idea what they're talking about. This is a guy who, you're talking about a gang member who kills people or shoots people. He's a violent guy. It's crazy. But then you have a guy like that. Funny enough, and I'm going to show you this video, right? So you've got the black guy who speaks absolute facts and makes very valid points and explains why he has the point he has and the opinion he has. So he said, one, if you watch the tape, so he's seen the footage, he's saying, seeing the footage, it's not to do with race. The guy was in danger. Two, the guy was a criminal and you know, violent or possibly killed other black people, reportedly killed. Obviously, I'm guessing he hadn't been convicted of a murder. So, okay, we can't technically say that. But part of gangland in London, which is obviously, everyone talks about how bad that is, but obviously when a gang member gets killed, they cry about it and make it political. Three, he's saying, like, if you guys just keep doing this like you do for everything else, like he's saying, I don't get you. And he says, my people. He's talking about, obviously, he says, you know, black people is people. He's saying, like, my people, what is wrong with you? Like, don't do that. Don't stoop to that level. He's saying. But then what you have is a video like this. And this is, what's funny is, this, right, is the contrast. And this is what you have with the the upper middle class left wingers coming out in support, and this is probably the reason why Britain's declining. So this is on the streets of London. I think this was on the 20th or the 20th of October. So I think this was 4 days ago. It might have been the 21st. So 3 or 4 days ago. Have a look at this.
Now! Justice! Now! Chris Kaba! Chris Kaba! Chris Kaba! Chris Kaba!
Okay, so one, have you noticed that it's all just like fucking white women and fucking out of shape homos? That's one thing to say. Again, I'm not, like, nothing wrong with being white, but what I'm saying is it's just so funny that, you know, the black guy spoke pretty sanely and these white people are just sort of like protesting or whatever. My point is, one, why are they not locked up? Because they fucking locked up all the boys. All the boys got locked up for fucking protesting about the fucking 3 kids, 3 little girls being murdered by illegal immigrants. Or legal immigrants. 3 little girls getting murdered. People protesting about that far right. Yet when a gang member gets fucking killed after ramming a policeman with his car, then it's fine. It's crazy. It's crazy. And this is the thing. These people who, let's say, these people are actually serious and they're not just sort of, you know, virtue signaling, which they are, let's be real. But let's just say hypothetically they actually gave a fuck. Would they not be saying, hang on a sec, guys, Chris's friends, anyone who's like Chris, don't ram the fucking police? Let me ask you a question. What do you think would have happened if someone rammed Chris? I mean, you know, obviously 2 days before the shooting, 2 days before he got shot, he shot someone in a nightclub, some black kid, or tried to shoot black kid in a nightclub. But what I'm saying is, based on this guy, if someone rammed him, he probably would have fucking shot them. He rams armed police, gets shot, issue. It's just fucking embarrassing. It's just embarrassing, and it just again. It just ruins the whole argument the valid argument of police being out of line. Because this is the thing. Police, and the same in America, same in the UK, there's a lot of times where police are fucking bang out of order. Like, massively. But sometimes they're not. And when they're not, and this is the thing. This is the thing. When they're not, you have to point that out. You have to be realistic. You have to be accepting. If you see them as an enemy, even when they do something that's okay, don't just fucking ram. Like, it makes all your other, it makes your valid points invalid. Do you understand? It makes them less believable. It's like the boy who cried wolf. There's a reason the boy who cried wolf is a story. And this is why. Because when you call every single incident by the police a racist, unfair, shooting, and it's because of he's black, well then we know that's not true. But what it does mean is that soon it's going to be valid. Soon that's actually going to happen, and no one's going to fucking believe you, or they're going to be hesitant to even look into the story. They're going to say, yeah, you've chatted shit so many times, we're not going to fucking believe you. And that's why these people who were protesting for Chris Kaba are fucking retarded. Now, sure, look, if he's your brother or something, I get you're going to be upset. Like, if you knew him, yeah, okay, it's upsetting. But to actually say that they were out of order is fucking retarded. Absolutely retarded. Soon you're going to give another fucking... Give more money to BLM. BLM have got their hands all over this, which is crazy. It's just fucking crazy. Anyway. I think that's... Ooh. Alright, let's fucking listen to this real quick. This is Wretch 32. I was going to end the show, but I just found a new video and I'll show you guys this whilst I'm watching it. This is Wretch 32 on Sky News. Wretch 32. I don't know if you're in America, you probably won't know. If you're in England, you probably won't know, to be fair. No one probably knows who this is, but I don't know. He's kind of famous. He did he did one Fire in the Booth once that was kind of good, so I guess, yeah, people know him now. This is him. Rapper Wretch 32 has strong words for the Met Police over, he says, with the assassination of Chris Kaba. Alright, this episode might go on longer than I thought. Let's have a look.
I think we're defo at a place where there's a lack of trust in the institution.